Please welcome Ray Hisu.
Oh, thank you. So, so the reason why I have this hat, it's actually Daniel Zamparelli's fault. Because, yeah, it's your fault. Yes. Okay. Now thank you. And the thing is that, so Chrissy and I are sitting at a faux place, and Danielle comes in and joins us, and then we say like, or I say like, I could really use a new hat. And Daniel says like, you know what, you should head down the street and pick up a hat there, just head that way. So then I head down that way, Chrissy and I head down that way, and then we go into a store and then we find this hat. So I get it, and then Chrissy and I are heading home on the bus. Actually, Chrissy and I call this the hat of hate. So the hat of hate. The hat of hate. So, why? That's a really good question. So the thing is that the answer is indeed on my phone, like all answers. Okay, so we get on the bus, and there's a large man sitting with his leg out in the aisle, and he's not moving. And he's the only one who has his legs in the aisle. And he's doing it on purpose, and I go past him, and he doesn't move, so I have to get around him. And Chrissy knocks into his leg as she goes past him. Now, meanwhile, I'm standing beside Chrissy, and Chrissy is imagining his bones crushing. She thinks that the guy is a menace, and the person beside him gets up and leaves. So I sit down right beside him.
Are his bones just crushing on their own, or is she going to crush?
It's all imagination. We're writers and artists, so it's like it's very there's a lot of energy. Okay. So like I sit down beside him, and he turns to me and he says, "What time is it?" So then I show him my watch, and I don't really say anything. I don't really smile at him. I just look at him while I'm showing him my watch. And he says, "That's a really dumb hat." And I say, "Do you think so?" He says, "Yeah, you look like a fucking freak in that hat." Wow. And so I say, "Is that so?"
You're well done.
Thank you, Daniel. And then he says like, "So why are you looking at me? You better look away. I'm going to smack that hat off your head. Are you Chinese? You're a fucking freak." And then meanwhile, the person who's one seat ahead of him, she says, "Do you want to come sit up here to me?" And then that guy says, "You should go sit up there with that bitch. You all look the same. Stop staring at me." Because at this point, I'm still looking at him. So then meanwhile, the man behind him says, "Why don't you stop talking, man?" And then meanwhile, the guy says, "Why are you still staring at me?" And the guy at the very back of the bus, this is a full bus, says he's staring at you because you started talking to him. So meanwhile, I'm still looking at him. But he all of a sudden gets up and he walks to the front of the bus and he says, "I want to get off this fucking bus." And he's standing at the door. The bus driver stops in mid-traffic, and the guy says, "Open the fucking door." So the door opens, and the guy like turns behind him, and he turns behind him, and he spits on the bus floor. Meanwhile, one guy starts to clap, but no one really joins him in it. So meanwhile, the dude walks in front of the bus, and Chrissy says out loud, "Well, maybe this is the moment when the bus driver should step on the gas." And then meanwhile, the guy who's sitting in the back, who piped up, he says, "I'm a bouncer. I'm on my way to work. I deal with guys like that all the time." Meanwhile, we ride all the way back, the rest of the way in silence, and I wasn't really willing to break that silence. So that's the hat of hate, indeed. Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Daniel.
You mean it's like half shrimp?
Oh! Zing. Zing indeed.
No, don't put it on the floor.
No, don't put it on the floor. Okay. Thank you, Anna.
It's the code of hate.
Okay. Whoa. Sorry. Okay, so.
What's he doing now?
Okay, so okay, how many of you have anything to do with UBC? Okay, I see some hands. How many of you? You took a bus there. Okay, awesome. And like, how many of you have anything to do with SFU? I see some hands. Yes. Okay, awesome. So then, how many of you own stocks? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I see some. Yeah, mutual funds. Yes, mutual funds count. Okay, cool. Scotch. No. Let's see. How many of you have money invested in your pension fund? I see some hands. The Canada Pension Fund, and also, okay. So, okay, like, if you work, then you all have it. Okay, the Canada Pension Fund. So the thing is that, so the company Goldcore, how many of you know Goldcore? I see a few hands in the audience, okay. So Goldcore, I see a thumbs down, actually. I see a thumbs down in the back. I see 2 thumbs down in the back. Many of you probably know then that, oh, I see a finger in the front. Okay, so, so the thing is that, as you probably know, Goldcore gave $5 million to UBC. And because of that, just what, as of a few days ago, the Earth Sciences Building is naming one of their wings, the wing of learning. The Goldcore wing of teaching and learning. And also, like, Goldcore also donated $25 million to the University of Ottawa, but it also donated $10 million to SFU. Woodward's. SFU at Woodward's. And so then, because of that, they're renaming the Center for Contemporary Arts the Goldcore Center for Contemporary Arts. Okay, I see a repeat finger. Repeat, okay. So like, so the thing is that this is actually a found poem, and it's by Karen Spring, who writes for Rights Action, a group in Toronto. She recently visited the Syria Valley in Guatemala. Okay, so on April 2nd, 2009, the Honduran Ministry of Health held a medical workshop in the Syria Valley to investigate skin problems, hair loss, and other health concerns of approximately 200 local residents. For many years, many in the community have believed and still believe their illnesses are linked to contamination caused by Goldcore's open-pit cyanide leaching gold mine in the region. This consultation was following up in the taking of blood tests of 40 residents from the mining-affected communities conducted in August 2007. The blood tests were taken by the Public Ministry's Office of Forensic Medicine and then sent to a laboratory in Colombia where the samples were processed. The residents of Syria Valley still have not seen the results of the blood tests, but have learned that the blood of 28 of the 40 people contain heavy metals, including arsenic, lead, and mercury. With very few answers and no medical results since 2007, the community members had hoped that their mining-related illnesses would be attended to at the medical consultation in the Syria Valley. Children and adults awaited their one-on-one consultation with the doctors. Sorry.